let's talk about some of the business dealings has been going on.
So I think the first thing is changing table size.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just. I don't think this is just a business aspect. I think there's a lot at play here.
Right.
They've reduced the minimum table size down to 60 by 44 inches.
Yep.
Which does make it more accessible.
Mm.
Because I remember when I first started playing Warhammer 40k, went to play on my kitchen table and was like, oh, my table is not 4 feet wide. I'll make it work.
Right.
It wasn't a big deal, but it was still like, man, I wish I had a bigger table.
Well, it was always just not 4 feet wide. It's like just short, you know. The flaps of your mat would be like just hanging off a little bit. You know?
Right. Yeah. So I understand that aspect. That's fine. They've also said that their what is it? 2 of their kill team boards will make up this table size now. Makes sense, sure. And they've still said like 6 feet by 4 feet. That's still fine to play it like that. Go for it.
Yeah.
But the repercussions are. These aren't even that big. But the repercussions are the tournament organizers are going to utilize that smaller board size because they get more people in. But what that means is if you have a game mat or a beautiful 4 foot by 6 foot table you've built, it sucks if you want to be familiar with tournament play. You got to figure out how to reduce that.
Right.
I know I have one game mat that if you want it to look nice, it's a city mat. It's like a grid city mat. And if you reduce it down, the terrain's going to go in weird places. It's going to be either in the street or most of the board is going to be streets, and you're not going to have enough terrain for it to be functional.
Right.
So these things aren't bad in of themselves. It's just when you have years, if you're like a veteran of the hobby, this is painful. Because like I said, you may have this beautiful board you've built that's, you know, it's already, everything's glued down. You've like built a display board essentially to play on.
Yeah. Or
you've got these mats like I have, or at least one of them, where it doesn't make sense to reduce it down because it's going to look weird.
Right.
If you're just playing casually, it doesn't matter. Keep playing casually. But if you are interested in tournament play, you need to get familiar with the new table size.
Yeah. Yeah. If they had made any of the dimensions bigger than 4 foot or 4 by 6 foot, then I would have been angry, because then all the 4 by 6 foot would have just been completely out of play.
Yeah.
This doesn't. I mean, yeah, like, there's going to be ways for you to make your 4 by 6 foot mat playable, but as you mentioned, there's a lot of them that will just kind of look a little bit weird. One thing that I don't understand is, so I completely understand it for tournament play. Like, for especially such a game as 40k, which is so competitive. You have, you know, grand tournaments all over the place, you know. It makes sense to have that consistency between the gaming experiences, but the idea that for the casual play, that like you've got to play it on the 44 by 60 inch, like, oh, you just have to, like, no, like you don't even have to play it on a mat, you know, like you could play it on whatever you want because it's a tabletop game, right? Yeah. I don't understand in so many instances people essentially being like, so bound to what the rule book says and not willing to just stretch it a little bit here and there and kind of like,
right.
I don't know, freaking out about it. But that, off of that soapbox, I do agree. It's I hope that the new size really makes sense. I hope that it feels right. I hope that it feels better. There's many instances where the 4x6 feels a little weird because it's either too narrow or too, it's a little clunky in a lot of instances.
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely had instances where it's like, man, we have a lot of wasted space on this board.
Right.
And that's not all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Another positive of this is going to be easier to reach the middle of the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least you'll have a little bit of extra room on your tables to, once you get new mats or whatever, to put some dice or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm sure there's some people out there that are like really upset about it just because they have to get new mats or something. But it'll blow over. I remember when X-Wing came out with 2.0, I was all huffy puffy about having to get the new stuff, but the way that they ended up doing it ended up being okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope that it does make sense.
Right.
But hey, now's the time to start selling mats. Which
I did happen to get one recently at a discount.
Oh, nice. So. Nice. Yeah, we're not going to be getting into that racket. Nowhere close to doing something like that. But yeah, so the mats, the whole Indomitus. That's another reason why we hadn't done anything in such a long time. Just some of the stuff that just happened was like, what? How do I even talk about this? So let's talk about the Indomitus whole pre-order snafu, right? So they went to all the small stores, right, third-party stores, got their pre-orders, said that they were going to be held to it, and then super short notice, cut their pre-orders down to a stupid low number for a lot of stores, especially with how much hype 9th edition has gotten, or any new addition to 40K. It's a big game. How much hype it's gotten, and then yeah, it's just weird, man. It's just weird how that happened. Cut him down the pre-order, and then of course you get all those sales on the web store because that's the only place they can get it now.
Yeah.
So, in all fairness, the whole coronavirus thing going on, that definitely has affected every business out there.
Yeah, and I believe they shut down production for a while.
Right.
So understandable that it probably didn't have the quantities they thought they were going to have. Right. Shouldn't have promised what they promised. There's definitely not an excuse for that.
There you go. Yep.
I do like, however, that they were like, whoa, it's a lot more interest in this than we thought. Hey, we said it was going to be limited run. What we're going to do, hey, if you want one, we'll make it to order, limit one per customer. That's great.
Right.
I think that's fantastic, especially when people are trying to sell the box for $1,000.
Yeah, freaking toilet paper it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so they made it right, and I'm not willing to go so far as to say that there was malicious intent behind how all that went down. I think that was just it was just a screw up, but man, there's a lot of things that really frustrate me with Games Workshop, and it comes through in 40K and whatnot, but just how the business is ran and little things like that, where it's not so much to say oh, well, they're just evil people just trying to take everyone's money. There's plenty of suspicion that we're oh, why do we gotta buy all these freaking books all the time? But we'll get to that. But yeah, there's so many little screw ups, little trip ups like this, where it's guys, guys, you just, all right, it's not hard. It's called planning, you know? Like, I don't know what your numbers are, but you know who knows what your numbers are? You do, you know? Like, you freaking know what your numbers are. Plan accordingly. Like, no one's gonna get upset that you didn't have enough, because we all have been going through this whole coronavirus. Like, everyone's gonna understand that, right? But you go pull some stupid, not I'm gonna say stunt, but just some stupid screw up. It's like, guys, come on, please. Let's just find a system, a methodology, a planning methodology that works. There's lots of them out there. Choose. You can pick and choose. You know what I mean? Like, and the same thing, I feel like the whole app snafu falls into that category a little bit. So what I haven't thought about this in a while. Maybe you could run us through the little timeline as far as the app, how that.
I gotta say, I haven't put much, like, I have followed it, but I don't care because I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep using Battlescribe.
Yeah. No reason not to.
I think it's like $5 a year for the pro version, but there's also a free version.
And
just
yeah,
some ads sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but man, what? So they're just like behind schedule, I believe, on development. Is the overall gist that I'm tracking. Currently, if you subscribe, you get access to all books that are currently out and the new rules. However, future books you'll have to pay for on top of your subscription. They've not directly said that, but in the wording they have, that's what it is. They're going to have an army builder. They've got the points listed. They've got the whole data sheets listed. I think they have like everything playable, including Forge World with the Imperial Armor indexes and everything. That's all in there right now, so that's great. I can't remember what else they have because, like I said, I don't really care.
Yeah, so they're gonna make money off of it. They're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna break even off of it. I'm sure that they're completely overpaying for the development, which is probably a reason why. I know I see this with Games Workshop. I see this like tendency for them to want to do everything in-house and have complete 100% control on everything that they do. You know, like they're not gonna let anyone do anything with their stuff unless they have absolute god power over it. Right. Which is why like you have technology where it is like the best cinematic stuff that you ever see for 40K is fan stuff. You know, like by a huge margin. You know, like you would talk about a crappy, terrible movie, Ultramarine the movie. Oh my gosh, you know, like, and not to mention, in all your intellectual property could be the most amazing cinematic experience ever, right? And you have so many just like fanatic fans, talented fans that would be 100% willing, obviously, because they're making some super, super amazing fan films that are just mind-blowingly good. Yeah. And then instead of like, hey, you know what? Let's just go hire them to do it for us and then just let them do their thing and just give them money and make it really, really good. No, we're going to do our own thing over here. Yeah. It's not going to be as good, you know? And I just know, man, in my heart of hearts, I know this is exactly what's going to happen with the app. There's no reason not for me to use Battlescribe. It's very, very approachable. Whatever clunkiness might be there, once you learn how to use it, it's not a big deal. And I trust the sort of wiki nature of Battlescribe for that to be more accurate than a centrally controlled app under the control of Games Workshop. I could see there being time and time again where stuff hasn't been updated yet, or this, like some book has come out and, you know, they haven't gotten around to it or whatever. Like, I just know, man, but there's going to be plenty of people that use it, you know?
Yeah. And that's fine. I think like I said, they have a free version of it. I don't remember what all's in the free version. Probably not much, but hey, there's free content out there. That's great.
Yeah.
I think $5 a month is not unreasonable, except it does not include future books.
Yeah, I don't see why this shouldn't be one or the other.
Like, I probably would have gone in on $5 a month, maybe up to $8 a month if it included all books for as long as you subscribed.
Dude, I would have 100% done that. And I'm pretty stickler with my money when it comes to spending money with Games Workshop stuff.
That's why I said up to
game
8
stuff.
content.
Yeah, I would have 100% done that. You know, and that you would have easily cut out all of these, you know, list builder apps, which I'm not for that, you know, but just like they could have played it one or two ways. I guess they could still change it or whatnot, but man, you would have everyone on that app, right? If they had it that way.
Yeah.
But people would be like, wait, I gotta pay a subscription? Wait. And because it's not going to be like a fair price, it's not going to be a reasonable price either. Probably it's going to be like, I still have to pay freaking the same amount of money it takes me to buy the actual book on the app. What the hell am I doing right now?
I want to say the PDFs to buy them instead of a book was only like a $10 discount.
Yes, the technological revolution, you know, it's going places. Some people are not going with it.
Right.
Yes. Cool. And then the what are we talking? Oh, the books.
Yeah. So, just put all your rules in the same book.
I know.
My goodness. So, I pre-ordered Indominus because it's a great deal. It really is a great deal, considering how they price things.
Mm.
Because I think the contents of the box, I think, were valued at like $800 normal retail, and it's about $200 for the box. Yeah. Great. So I have my rule book, and do you know what's not in it?
What?
Guess what's not in it?
Something
Match
to do with
play rules for missions. It's got the casual missions in it. The open play missions doesn't have the missions that I will be using.
Well, that's because it's in a different book, Kyle.
Yes, which, interestingly, does have all the rules except for army building rules.
Which,
why?
Yeah, you're gonna be able to Google those.
It's so hard to put it all in one book.
Again, man, it's this. I was thinking about this. You know what? We shouldn't be mad at Games Workshop, Kyle. It's very British of them, you know? Like, it just harkens back to the whole, like, mercantilist system of doing business where they have this absolute control, and then they're just gonna, like, give you a little bit at a time. They're gonna take all the money, and there's nothing you can do about it because they control the system. They have absolute control over this game that we want to play. We're gonna play it so they can continue to do just stupid asinine things like this, you know, like they're just getting their imperialistic, you know, they're hearkening back to those imperialistic roots, man. I don't know if they can help it.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't know, man. That's one of those things where going back to 4, the whole pre-order Indominus snafu, I'm just fine chalking that up to oversight. I don't think it's excusable with where they're at in their business game, especially being a publicly traded company. Like, I don't think that is excusable at all. However, I can understand how it could happen.
Yeah.
This, I have a hard time coming up with any reason other than we want to make you buy our stuff. We want to force you to buy our stuff. But I don't think they did it very well because then people are just going to buy chapter approved. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that chapter approved I think what is it, Grand Tournament 2020. It doesn't have. I mean, look at the thickness of this thing. About a third of that is rules.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to buy a lore book, I'll buy a lore book.
Right.
If I want to buy an art book, I'll buy an art book. I don't want to have to pay extra to have this massive tome. So that is something I like. I'll get back to it. What I do like about Grand Tournament 2020 doesn't have any of that. It's just rules.
Yeah.
Like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's the kind of rulebook I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like my rulebook to have everything in it. Like all the rules, that is.
Yes.
But it's a step for them, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why it wouldn't, because there's, as you say that, there are so many people that love having all the fluff. I enjoy it. I don't peruse through it very often, but I do enjoy, if anything, going through and checking out the pictures. You know, I think that's cool, but I don't see why you couldn't hash out your products like that. Like, have the full-blown, all the fluff, you know, people can look and, oh, it's 40K. Oh man, check out these pictures. And then, oh wow, it's so cool. And then having like the cut down version. They both have all the rules in it. You can buy one or the other and still completely play the game. But, you know, the other one costs a little bit less. And, it, you know, like there's going to be a lot more people that would be willing to just buy a cheaper rule book, you know, than buy the full-blown, be forced to buy the full-blown this. But then in this case, it's just all wacky anyways, because the rules are like, you gotta find them, man. You gotta go on a freaking Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, I don't think I mind buying a separate book. I mean, I don't, because I use an app, but I don't think the model for having a separate book with updated points is terrible, because they're going to keep changing as they balance the game. So that's fine. Yeah,
and you know, and it gives you the avenue to tweak missions, to add new missions or whatever, to add new gameplay-centric things that you want to either change things that need to be changed, or, you know, add a little flavor, add a little flair to the current game experience. But not putting all the rules in the main rule book.
Yeah, playing hide and buy with rules is not something I enjoy.
No, people accept hide and buy with other things, but not the freaking rules. Like, doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe it's them wanting to increase casual play or something.
It's just no.
No.
Just
no. Well, anything else we can complain about?
Here the push fit Necrons are quite a spectacle to put together.
I can imagine, man. Like little spiders.
I have to try again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's cool for the push fits in the box sets. You know, because that's what new players are gonna buy. Like, I think that's fine. But
no, this box is for veterans. The new player box will be coming out later.
But everything.
That's them, not me.
Yeah, everything going push fit, which I'm.
No, they're not really... gonna. Not everything's gonna be push fit. They're just gonna do that for the boxes, and that's whatever.
I know, but
if it makes it cheaper, that's fine with me.
Does it make it cheaper? I guess it does. You have less plastic.
Retail.
Yeah. Yeah, not everything, but okay. I was just saying, like, a trend towards more push fit and less modeling, less doing what you want.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, hope you have fun putting those suckers together. I got some new Wolfen I need to put together.
Nice. You gonna start winning some games now?
Well, they're only 5, but yes, I'll try. Which works in 9th edition, so.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I've got some. Oh, we didn't talk about the whole terrain blocking thing, so we already gone long enough, but no need to go back and touch on that. But that being said, there's a lot of things where I'm like, ooh, I want to see how this works out.
Yeah, we've already been playing around with that rule a little bit in our 8th edition games that we were putting out. Yeah, just to kind of familiarize with it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot more chance to, harkening back to that like sneak preview video. It was like, oh, you can finally sneak up on your opponents.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
Yeah, that combined with having probably a bunch of 5-man squads running around, might look like an actual play. You know, those are the certain things that can probably move fast, and if they can move fast and not be seen and not be shot at, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to bring more commandos back. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
it's my favorite models.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I think could benefit from that. I just hope it's not I just hope it's not a hollow promise, you know, that they don't that it just doesn't make sense for whatever reason. It's easy to, like, oh yeah, you're gonna do that? Well, I'm just gonna do this and completely end your game, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just me. Well, we have been talking for much time, Kyle.
We have.
We're gonna be trying to get a 9th edition game up very soon. Like I said, we're just now getting the actual rulebook over here at Zulunet, so it won't be for at least another week, maybe a little bit longer. We've got. Yeah,
we're still pushing out 8th edition games that we recorded as well.
Right. But with how 8th edition is rolling over and Psychic Awakening and stuff, you'll still see new things. New is relative, I guess, to whenever the Psychic Awakening happened. But, and nevertheless, that Psychic Awakening still will apply. So you'll still see 2 relevant armies going at each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to get some 9th edition in. You know, put that 8th edition behind us. But, all right, any parting words, Kyle?
No.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Hoping you stick around. Check out the store. Super awesome stuff. Putting up some new designs. I'm not going to say every day, but pretty frequently. And pretty exciting for us. So please support us. And check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. We're pushing out our new products and whatnot on Instagram and Facebook mainly, on Twitter. So yeah, if you want to know what is happening over here, check us out there. And again, thanks for joining us, and have a good night.